Hey everyone, I'm Tam, and we are back with another Why I Think It Is episode. Today, let's talk about the idea of the 7 year cycle of change, something like that. So there's this idea floating around that after around 7 years or so, your entire life kind of shifts to a different direction, so to speak. Uh, um, Physiologically, I think there's some actual basis because from what I read, your cells, all the body inside all the cells in your body, from head to toe, replenishes entirely after 7 years. So physiologically, you are definitely a new person after 7 years, something like that. That's kind of the idea. The actual, I guess, philosophy of this comes from I think some kind of um, Hindu religion, something like that. I'm not too sure, but it has its roots in like India or something like that. Anyway, so that's the idea, and the reason why I think that is because from my experience anyway, the first year or two into the cycle, so the cycle is like 7 years. Let's call it 7 years. The first year or two, you're kind of like completely clueless. You have no idea what's going on. It's like walking to it's like walking to a castle or a kind of haunted house. Because tomorrow will be Halloween. That's why I'm using a haunted house as an example. So it's like walking to a haunted house, and you kind of like I don't know what's going on. There's so many rooms, so many different things to explore. I have no idea what's going on. I really don't have no idea why I'm even here to begin with. So kind of just kind of aimlessly entering a place for the first year or two, and then the third or fourth year, the third, fourth, and like fifth year, you spend your time kind of exploring it. So the first year or two, you come into the place with a certain like mindset and a certain mindset, which analogously you can like call as your toolkit. So you come into the place. You come into place with a certain toolkit. You have no idea what's going on the first year or two. Then the third, fourth, or fifth year, you kind of like explore in place. You find a bunch of things. You kind of, using your toolkit, your certain mindset, your certain philosophy. You kind of explore a place. It's for what it is. So you're kind of wandering, exploring a place, just kind of I guess um, running the course. Like a marathon course or a racetrack, is kind of running the course along the way. And then your sixth or seventh year, so near the end of the cycle, you start to realize that you want something different for yourself because you spent the last several years kind of just like aimlessly kind of exploring a place. Now you realize that this place is no longer something that you actually want to be in. So you kind of like you start to try to find the exit, because you're so deep in the mansion. The mansion is like 50 stories high, yeah, and you don't exactly remember like the entrance. So you're trying to find an exit, and so it's now it's the sixth or seventh year. You're trying to like scramble, just trying to find the exit, and then you find the exit, and then you exit the house, and then you enter into a different like I guess you enter into a the next part or whatever. Well, you exit the house, and then you met with a bunch of like I guess choices. You can like I guess so you exit the house. So near the end of the seventh year, you exit the house, and then are faced with a bunch of like choices for different routes to take. You can go back to the house because now you've explored everything, so you're kind of familiar with it. So it's kind of like a comfy shell, a comfy kind of shell to kind of I guess stay in because because it can rain outside, it can snow. You may not have food, so analogously it could be like I guess so like in job security. You've been in this job for such you've been in this job for such a long time. For example, customer service. Yes, it's kind of toxic at times because you kind of like I guess cope with very hard people. Or for example, you were a software engineer. Yes, it's hard at times. It can be hard because you may have to be on call at like 9 p.m. On your birthday, or I guess your mom's birthday, whatever have you. So it can be it can be hard like that. So you kind of get you kind of like, are kind of like choosing between the familiarity of the haunted house, which could be like because it's kind of like because it shelters you from the environment. Like I guess you have a nice salary. It you're already familiar with the kind of like different rooms, the different like environments, the lay of the land. So there's nothing new to kind of like I guess spook you out and so on. So you can definitely take that route, or you can continue on the next I guess the next course, wherever that seems to whatever I guess your conscious seems to gravitate towards. I guess using this analogy, it could be like a garden, for example, like because mansions usually have like gardens attached to them, and then so on. Perhaps after the garden, you will be on a yacht and so on. So that's kind of analogy. Not to say that not to say that being in the house is a terrible choice, because the house is definitely secure, in a sense that you have a nice income and you have your food taken care of. You don't have to worry about the weather. However, the garden or the yacht, and so on, may offer you something more fulfilling, a more enjoyable way to spend your time here, playing this game called life. So that's kind of how I kind of like I guess visualize and internalize the 7 year cycle. The first year or two, you have no idea what's kind of what the kind of lay of the land is. The third, fourth, and fifth year, you spend your time kind of just like mapping it out, understanding the different, I guess, policy rules, the different aspects, the different things. And then year 6 or 7, you kind of make a choice for yourself whether or not to continue spending your time here, or moving on to something that could possibly be more fulfilling to you. And it's definitely a scary thought because you have no idea what the other road looks like. The other road could have like a bunch of things that that you don't want anything to do about. For example, quitting your job is pretty much a one door decision. You can't really go back. Once you write your resignation letter, it's a done deal. Like you can't really go back. Like it's not like you can't just call your boss and be like, hey, dude. So about that resignation letter, I kind of want to take it back now. Not really gonna happen, dude. so so it's definitely scary in that sense. You may walk out of the house and realize and realize that you are actually not equipped properly. Your water supply is low. Your food supply is low. You don't have like a knife, something like that, Same way, so it can definitely be kind of a scary endeavor. And there's nothing, and as I said, there's nothing wrong about staying in the house compared to venturing into something new. Especially if you were kind of happy there anyway. The issue becomes when you kind of like dishonest with yourself. You lie to yourself, like you lie to yourself in a way that's kind of like innocuous. Like why would I want to like exit the house because it's kind of safe here, and that's not really the right cause to continue living in a house. The right cause to continue living in a house is that you're actually happy with being inside the house, not your own kind of, I guess, your own kind of like, I guess, idea of safety, because the idea of safety can definitely change based on how much experience you can gather. For example, trading stocks is definitely risky for somebody who has no kind of experience or no kind of knowledge of that area. If you invest like 2 years into that, you probably understand this is what you do, this is what you don't do. So you have a way to systematically build income for yourself, and then year 3, 4, 5, you kind of scale that, and you kind of have a pretty good understanding of how to make money without really, I guess, put in the same amount of time as effort as you did from year one. And then year 6 or 7, you can choose to continue to invest in stock market like that, or I guess you can do something else like build a startup, or I guess travel the world and be an influencer and so on. So so the 7 year cycle is from my experience anyway a pretty real thing. I think it's more kind of like a conscious kind of like I guess wavelength thing where you kind of just like reflect on it after a certain amount of time. It's kind of hard not to reflect on certain things if you're being honest with yourself. If if you're not being honest with yourself, you probably just like continue as you are, and the biggest got you is that you probably will be very unhappy and unfulfilled. So the game called life is built around truth and honesty.